All right, Mr. Zander, how are you today?
Good, how about you?
I am good. I hope you had a nice weekend, and I was really happy with our last session on Friday when we did some of the Linda Moot Bell work, and I thought Jennifer was really great. I mean, she was really helpful. How did you feel about that? It was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different way to look at things, right? And kind of look at your reading. But you remember when we
Yeah.
did the echo reading, where I was reading and you would read and follow along, and then read yourself?
Yeah.
That like okay, so what I wanted to do today is maybe do a little deeper dive into that teaching strategy. It's basically called echo reading and like rereading, that kind of stuff. First thing I'm going to do is share my screen with you so that you can see a short little video that kind of explains, goes over the reading technique. um, we'll follow it fairly closely. We'll kind of break it to our info on it because I know your level of readings, pretty solid. Real quick, we're just gonna watch this video, and then if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, here we go.
Alrighty.
Okay, Kendra and Dominique, we have finished
Can you hear
now
that?
reading
Okay.
the article, okay, the
Yes.
Surgeon General's report on physical activity. What I want to do now, since we've really looked at it, I know you understand it, we can visualize everything, we're going to come back and just do an activity that's designed to improve your fluency. Fluency just meaning the ability to read smoothly and with lots of expression, right? It's almost as if you were talking to somebody instead of reading. It sounds just like you're talking. And this is a technique called echo reading. Now, what's an echo? What is an echo?
The
It
echo.
repeats itself.
Yeah, where you say something and then what
It
happens?
just repeats itself.
You hear it repeat. Like what were we talking about earlier when you would call something out into the canyon? Like
Yeah, like say hello in the canyon. It's like it bounces off and it says hello back to
the
you.
echo comes back. Hello, hello. Okay, well, you don't have to say it more than one time, but you will basically be my echo. Okay? So now I already know that we've understood this paragraph before. We're not worrying about, really about the comprehension at this point. We're just practicing our fluency and picking up that oral reading pace, okay? So you're going to mimic me. And we're going to start right there on this paragraph that begins with "you don't need to." Or no, sorry, let's go right above that. "You may find it hard." You ready? Right there. Okay, so you're going to echo after me. And try and copy me as much as you can in the way with my expression. Just try and sound just exactly like I do. You may find it hard
You
may find it hard
to do 30 minutes of physical activity
to do 30 minutes of physical activity
at one time.
at one time.
Nice job. Let's do that sentence all together. I'll read it, you echo me. You may find it hard to do 30 minutes of physical activity at one time.
You may find it hard to do 30 minutes of physical activity at one time.
Very good. If so,
If so,
So,
you can do physical activity
you can do physical activity
for 10 minutes 3 times a day.
for 10 minutes 3 times a day.
Right on. Let's do that sentence all together. If so, you can do physical activity for 10 minutes 3 times a day.
If so, you can do physical activity for 10 minutes 3 times a day.
Very good. Next paragraph. You don't need to spend much money
You don't need to spend much money
to do physical activity.
to do physical activity.
Very nice. The next sentence. Community centers and park districts
Community centers and park districts
have free or low-cost activities.
have
free or low-cost activities.
Let's do that sentence all connected. Community centers and park districts have free or low-cost activities.
Community centers and park districts have
No worries.
free or low-cost activities.
Very good. Okay, let's echo one more sentence. And why pay for a gym or health club
And why pay for a gym or health club
when you can do activities in your home
when you can do activities in your home
and other places?
and other places?
Good, let's do that whole sentence connected. And why pay for a gym or health club when you can do activities in your home and other places?
And Why pay for a gym or health club when you can do activities in your home and other places?
Right on. No, it's once you fall off the wagon, it's like it's hard, right? Or off the train, whatever. Very good. Okay, so that was what we call echo reading.
Okay. All right, so that was just a idea of what the technique is, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So I'm not going to go as like break it down maybe for like the first sentence, or maybe two, but then we're just going to go with the sentences because we have a little bit of practice with this already. So you have a fairly, good grasp of what we're trying to do here, right?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. So let me stop sharing this. Any questions about this or what they were doing or what we're going to do?
No.
Okay, cool. So let me share this screen. Give me 1 second here. Oh, okay. I need to get. Let me see this. Okay. Okay, and share screen. Okay. Do you see the St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
here? Okay, cool. So I did just pick this one because it was just St. Patrick's Day, so it's sort of fresh in our mind and might be kind of interesting. Like you may even learn something about why they just had this holiday that maybe you didn't know already. I know you're very well on your versed on your kind of your holidays and your stories. You like old old history of stuff. So anyway, so what I'm gonna have you do first is just read. You can see it fairly well, like it's big enough for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna read that whole paragraph straight up right now, starting with why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day, and just go from there. Okay.
All right. Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day? Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland, or the Emerald Isle.
Mm-hmm.
However, according to legend, the color green also had the magical power to make people invisible to impress
Leprechauns.
to apricot or other fairy creatures.
Okay.
That means that wearing green can save you from getting pinched by these I think
Mischievous.
mischievous fairies. If you don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, watch out.
Right. Okay. Excuse me. Really nice job. You did a really good job with that. So what I'm going to do now is for this first one, I'm going to read it by sentence. You'll come back and follow my sentence, and then we'll for the next ones we'll just try to make it a little bit. Okay. So as I read, just read along with me quietly, and then you just copy what I just did. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day?
Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's Day?
Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland on the Emerald Isle. I'm sorry, or the Emerald Isle.
Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland on the Emerald.
Okay, I'm going to start over again because I said that wrong. That was my fault. It's or the Emerald Island, not on the Emerald Island. So I'm going to try one more time. Let's start again. All right. Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland or the Emerald Isle.
Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland or the Emerald Isle.
However, according to legend, the color green also has the magical power to make people invisible to leprechauns or other fairy creatures.
However, according to legend, the color green also has the magic power to make people invisible to what was that one again?
Leprechauns? Invisible to leprechauns?
Leprechauns or other magical creatures.
Yeah, or other fairy creatures. Okay. That means that wearing green can save you from getting pinched by these mischievous fairies.
That means wearing green can save you from being pinched by these mischievous fairies.
If you don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, watch out.
If you don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, watch out.
Right. Okay. So that's where, oh, you're not wearing green, you're going to get pinched comes from. All right. I did not know that myself. So until I read this, but all right. So what I'm going to have you do now is just go ahead and I know the way you read, you like to read silently. Just go ahead and read that silently to yourself without worrying about your fluency or whatever. And then I'll ask you to read it again with just straight up the way we did it the first time. So go ahead and take a second or a minute just to read that silently. And let me know when you're done.
Alright.
Okay, cool. So now I'm just going to have you read it nice and smoothly, just not too fast, just nice and easy. Just working on trying to make it, the fluency, reading smooth, and using it like emotion and stuff. All right, ready? Go for it.
Why shamrock? In ancient Ireland, a shamrock was the symbol
Oh no,
of
I'm so
rebirth.
sorry, Xander. I meant to do the one that we just read. Like the traditionally the color green represents Ireland.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
go ahead and just take a minute just to silently read that one to yourself, and then we'll do that one again. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Alright.
Okay. Now you're gonna try to read it again one more time out loud, nice and smooth, just working on your fluency. Don't rush it. You just go nice and easy.
Alright. Why do we wear green on St. Patrick's? Traditionally, the color green represents Ireland or the Emerald Isle. However, according to legends, the color green also has magical powers to make people invisible to leprechauns or other fairy. That means that wearing green can save you from getting hit by these mischievous fairies. If you don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, watch out.
Fantastic. Okay, really good job. Did that feel nice and smooth?
Definitely.
Yeah, I was really impressed. That's quite a remarkable bit. So you know what? Now that you said you already read that, why shamrocks? Go ahead and just read it out. I'm not going to ask you to read it silently, but go ahead and read like you were getting ready to, and then we'll do the reread again. Okay, the echo reading.
Alright, why shamrock? In ancient Ireland, the shamrock was a symbol of rebirth of spring and was considered a scared plant. In the 1600s, the shamrock became a symbol of Irish nationalism. During the time when the English was invading uh, Irish when Ireland, people wear shamrocks as a symbol of their heritage.
Right. Okay. Cool. So now I'm going to do the same thing again where I read the sentence, you read along with me silently, and then just repeat it back and still follow along the words though too. You want to be reading it and hearing it. So here I go. Why shamrocks?
Why shamrock?
Okay. In ancient Ireland, a shamrock was a symbol of the rebirth of spring and was considered a sacred plant.
In ancient Ireland, the shamrock was a symbol of rebirth of spring and considered a sacred plant.
In the 1600s, the shamrock became a symbol of Irish nationalism.
In the 1600s, the shamrock became a symbol of the Irish national.
Okay. And during the time when English were invading Irish land, people would wear shamrocks as a symbol of their heritage.
During the time when the English were invading Irish land, people would wear the shamrock as a symbol of their heritage.
Right. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead and read it one more time silently to yourself, and then we'll read it one more time out loud. Just let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
Okay, go for it.
White shamrock. In ancient Ireland, a shamrock was a symbol of rebirth, of spring, and was considered a sacred plant. In the 1600s, the shamrock became a symbol of Irish nationalism. During the time when the English were invading Irish land, people would wear shamrock as a symbol of their heritage.
Oh, right on. That was perfect. You crushed that one. Very, very nice. Cool. Now, these next two are just getting a little bit longer, a little bit more to it. And then when we're done with this page, you'll be done with this. Okay. We're not going to go any further. But nice job with that. It's already looking like you're picking up some of the fluency of the reading right here. All right. So where did the leprechaun come from? That's a good question, right? Like we just were talking about it. So go ahead and give this a quick read.
Let's scroll up on the screen.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Yeah. Got you.
It's all right. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read it out loud. Like, where did the leprechaun start with that? You can read it out loud. Okay.
What are those two first words?
Where did the leprechaun come from?
In the sentence, in the paragraph.
The leprechaun. Okay, I'm sorry.
The
Lobricin is like, or leprechaun. So that was maybe the old spelling or old English version of it. I would guess. I don't know that for a fact, but it's like they notice how they have it in parentheses, right?
Yeah.
So it's maybe the original root word or the traditional legend, and then in modern day English they call it a leprechaun. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Where did the leprechaun come from? The leprosyn or the leprechaun most likely originated from planet
Celtic
folklore and their beliefs in fairies. Tiny men and women who had magical powers used for both good and evil. The sensitive tell leprechauns were the ones who made shoes for the fairies.
They mended shoes.
Who mended shoes for the fairies. They were grumpy and mean-spirited
Spirited.
and best known for their trickery.
Mm-hmm.
The leprechaun was never a symbol of St. Patrick's Day, but in 1956, a Disney film was released that transformed the leprechaun image into that of a cherry good heart soul.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it really wasn't originally part of St. Patrick's Day because it was really a religious holiday. But anyway, this is interesting. I didn't know that it came around from the Disney movie. I wonder which Disney movie it is because I know you know your Disney movies. What in 1959 was that?
I want to say it was the luck of the leprechaun.
Okay. We'll have to do some research and see what we can find on that, okay? But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and read each sentence, and then you just, echo read it back to me. And here we go. Where did the leprechaun come from?
Where did the leprechaun come from?
Okay. The leprosine or leprechaun most likely originated from Celtic folklore and their beliefs in fairies, tiny men and women who had magical powers. I'm going to start over again. I'm sorry. I'm going to break this one down because this is a really long sentence, okay? So
Okay.
let's try this. The Labracin, or leprechaun, most likely originated from Celtic folklore and their beliefs in fairies.
The labric or the leprechaun most likely originated from Celtic folklore and their beliefs in fairies.
Tiny men and women who had magical powers
Tiny men and women who have magical powers
used for both good and evil.
used for good both and evil.
In Celtic tales, leprechauns were the only ones who mended shoes for other fairies.
In Celtic tales, leprechauns were the only ones who mended shoes for other fairies.
They were grumpy and mean-spirited
They were grumpy and mean-spirited
and best known for their trickery.
and best known for their trickery.
The leprechaun was never a symbol of St. Patrick's Day,
The leprechaun was never a symbol of St. Patrick's Day,
but in 1959, a Disney film was released that transformed the leprechaun image into that of a cheery, good-hearted soul.
but in 1959, a Disney film was released and transformed that leprechaun image into that of a cheery, good-hearted soul.
Right. Okay, cool. Let's give this one a go, just from the beginning, nice and smooth. Again, work on the fluency and go at it.
Okay. Where did the leprechaun come from? The leprechaun or the leprechaun most likely originated from Celtic folklore and their belief in fairies, tiny men and women who have magical powers used for both good and evil. The Celtic tale in the Celtic tale. Leprechauns were the ones who mended shoes for other fairies. They were grumpy and mean-spirited, and best known for their trickeries. The leprechaun was never a symbol of St. Patrick's Day, but in 1959, a Disney film was released that transformed the leprechaun image into a cheery, good-hearted soul.
Right on. Much better. Okay. Yeah, so the cherry-hearted good soul from a mischievous trick player. Disney has a way of making things look nice and sweet and good. I know there's like some recent horror movies, whatever, that where the leprechaun is like the bad, possessed, evil, bad
Yeah.
guy. But anyway, we'll stick to this. Nice job. All right, last one. We're almost done here. So we're gonna do Who is St. Patrick. Go ahead and read that on by yourself at first, and then we'll do it together. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what, Xander? Let's just you're gonna read it to yourself after we read it. I got a little backwards on that one. Go ahead and let's just read it out loud real quick, and then I'll let you read it to yourself after.
Okay. Who is St. Patrick? St. Patrick is the
Patron. He's a patron.
Is the patron saint of Ireland. Although he was actually born in England as a youth, he was taken prisoner by the Irish and held in captivity there for 6 years. During the time, he became a devout Christian.
Devout Christian, correct.
It,
Okay.
it is said that he heard God's voice, which helped him escape captivity, and that later he had a vision of an angel who told him to return to Ireland as a missionary. It is widely believed that Patrick was the one who involved, introduced
Introduced.
Christianity to Ireland. It is also believed that he died on March 17th, which is how St. Patrick's Day was born.
Oh, I did not know that. That's how it was born. He died on March 17th. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll go ahead and read. We'll do a sentence at a time, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right, here we go. Second. Sorry, I have a suit. All right, so here we go. Who is St. Patrick?
Who is St. Patrick?
St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland.
St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland.
Although he was actually born in England, as a youth he was taken prisoner by the Irish and held captive in captivity.
As a youth, he was taken prisoner by the Irish and held in captivity
there for 6 years. During that time, he became a devout Christian. It is said that he heard God's voice, which helped him escape captivity.
It is said that he heard God's voice, which helped him escape captivity.
And that later he had visions of an angel. Who told him to return to Ireland as a missionary. It is widely believed that St. Patrick was the one who introduced Christianity to Ireland.
It is widely believed that Patrick was the one who introduced Christianity to Ireland.
It is also believed that he died on March 17th, which is how St. Patrick's Day was born.
It is also believed that he died on March 17th, which is how St. Patrick's Day was born.
All right. Almost there. So I'm going to have you read that quietly to yourself, and then I'll have you reread it. Yeah, so go ahead and go for it.
Okay. Who is St. Patrick?
I'm sorry, I had you on muted because, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I had you muted because my dog was going crazy. All right, you ready to go for it? Let's do it.
Who is St. Patrick? St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. Although he was actually born in England, as a youth he was taken prisoner by the Irish and held in captivity there for 6 years. During that time, he became a devout Christian. It said, it is said that he heard God's voice, which helped him escape captivity, and then later he had a vision of an angel who told him to return to Ireland as a missionary. It is likely to believe that Patrick was the one who introduced Christianity to Ireland. It is also believed that he died on March 17th, which is how St. Patrick's Day was
All right. You crushed it. Nice job, my friend.
born.
So real quick, let me just tell you my thoughts, and then I want to get your feedback, okay? Um, I thought like you were very engaged in doing the reading and trying to follow the um, tone and the pace and the fluency of how I was reading. There were some times where I was off myself, so that I don't know, maybe it seemed like it didn't throw you off too much, but I wanted you to be aware that there was parts that I made. So everybody makes mistakes when they're reading. It just happens all the time. Um, but I thought like each section you improved, like you had less words that you had struggle words with or breaks in your fluency. So I thought as we progressed, it got a little better. Um, how do you feel like this reading strategy worked for you?
It was pretty good, I think. Like, definitely helped. Like, I did notice, like, I did struggle a little less throughout reading this story. Um, but yeah, I think it worked pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Do you feel like it helped you not just with the fluency, but also maybe comprehend like what was written, like what they were about, what the stories were
Yes,
about?
definitely. Definitely with comprehension and definitely with fluency.
And do you think that was because we repeated the material, or it was just it got more interesting as we went along?
Um, I think it was also, like, it got more interesting, and I, like, reading out loud, like, actually was, like, able to, like, repeat it, and then, like, my brain was also, like, able to, like, fully kind of slow down on the second repeat
Uh-huh.
with
Oh
it,
yeah, okay,
and then, like, that kind of made it easier.
hmm,
And so, yeah.
cool. I agree with you. I mean, I think reading out loud, you were able to like not worry so much about trying to get the word right because now you had heard it and you like were prepared for what it was once you saw it again. Like leprechaun, we originally we didn't even know what that word was like. What is that? So then by the end, and they showed us the old spelling, and we had leprechaun, used quite a few times. You were right on it. You know exactly how to use it. So awesome. Well, I think, as we move along, we can get even a little bit more complex with some of the readings right here. This is about grade level of what you tested out on. And it may seem a little bit, easier, but like it can, you know, we can definitely step up the complexity of it and the grade level and just keep working through this a little bit. I think we do it about 2 or 3 weeks. And I think you'll see a difference in kind of the way that you approach the reading stuff. The way you would want to use this on your own, like say if you were just I gave you this and say, hey, read and do this, you might try like reading it to yourself because I know the way you like to read is more to yourself before you read it out loud, right?
Mhm.
And then go back and read it out loud for fluency, because maybe you'll at least get a chance like to see some of the words that you may struggle with or whatever, but then you'll see it again. Maybe try to talk through those words, before you do the reading, while you're reading it slowly or whatever, silently to yourself, and then go back and read it out loud for the comprehension and to work on your fluency. And you can do that without
Yeah.
me here, like if you're at home working on your schoolwork and stuff like that. But nice job today. That was the lesson that I wanted to go over with you. I think you did a great job. Any takeaways from it that you want to add?
That was definitely an interesting story.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to do my research, definitely on that Disney film, see what
Right.
Disney film contains, the
Okay.
movie and the game.
Yeah.
That's that, like, that's about it. Because
Okay.
on one
Anything
Disney film things that
All I was going to say is anything you would suggest that you think would help this uh, technique for you or improve it, or you think you could get more out of it?
Um, no. Mm,
But I think one thing I
pretty good
noticed
on
with
my
you
end.
is that you like material that you're interested in. You know, like if we did something with, say, Greek mythology or, you know, the Roman, you know, having passages that you're interested in, you tend to like engage in them a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. I'll put that together for our next sessions. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All
Well,
right. Well,
also
thank
like
you
kind
so
of.
much. I'm going to stop recording real quick. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
I was also going to say like.